You're about to enter the realm of myths, where thunder, prophecy, and starlight whisper through time. Welcome to Myth Dreams. You find yourself standing at the foot of Mount Olympus, not the jagged, snow-dusted peak you might picture from postcards, but the Olympus of myth. It pulses with golden clouds, its summit cloaked in shimmering mist, as if reality hesitates to climb any further. You step forward, and the air thickens with divinity. Your footsteps make no sound, like even the mountain itself is listening. Above, 12 thrones encircle a vast marble court. They're not arranged in any strict hierarchy, but somehow, just somehow, one chair always feels slightly taller. That one belongs to Zeus, of course. It's not official, but everyone knows. The armrests are etched with thunderbolts, and the cushions have definitely seen some dramatic sulking. These 12 seats, shimmering with divine energy, belong to the 12 Olympians, the major gods of the Greek pantheon. Except, and here's the twist, the lineup isn't always the same. You were expecting some clear-cut roster, weren't you? Unfortunately, Greek mythology is less corporate org chart and more Thanksgiving dinner with a chaotic family. Hestia, the goddess of hearth and home, originally had a throne, but she later gave it up for Dionysus, who, as you'll see, brought more parties than peace. Some versions don't even agree on which gods get included. Hades, despite his terrifying PR and undeniable power, doesn't have a throne here, mostly because he really dislikes Olympus's vibe. Too bright, too noisy, not enough rivers of sorrow. As you step closer, the thrones seem to glow softly in recognition. Ares' chair hums with war chants you can't quite hear. Aphrodite smells faintly of myrrh and bad decisions. Hermes' throne? It doesn't stay in one place. Sometimes it's missing altogether. Each god has their own seat, their own domain, their own baggage. You realize now, Olympus isn't a place of harmony. It's a divine group chat with no admin privileges and a lot of passive aggression. Strangely, there's no security system. Anyone bold enough, mortal or monster, can technically just walk in. You, apparently, included. As your eyes adjust to the divine gleam of marble and ego, a soft wind circles you. The air smells of cedar, lightning, and burnt offerings, a sensory blend that makes you feel like history is whispering right behind your ear. And here's the truly odd part. Scholars still debate whether these gods were always meant to be 12, or if that number just happened to fit nicely on a mosaic floor in Delphi. After all, myth is messy, a patchwork of stories stitched together by poets, priests, and bored sailors trying to impress each other. You glance at the empty seat next to it.
You walk farther into the court, and the clouds part just slightly to reveal him, Zeus. He isn't sitting on his throne so much as lounging, the kind of posture that says, I command the heavens, and also, I might fall asleep at any moment. His beard curls like storm clouds caught in a slow swirl. His eyes flash like distant lightning. And his robe? Well, he wears it like a man who knows tailoring was invented after God stopped caring. He's the king of Olympus, but don't let that title fool you. He didn't get elected. He overthrew his father Kronos by force, and kept the throne through charisma, deals, and, let's be honest, a lot of lightning-based intimidation. Think of him as the emotionally chaotic CEO of the divine startup that is Mount Olympus. You hear a voice behind you, sharp, regal, slightly fed up. It's Hera. She stands beside her throne, arms crossed, eyes half closed, like she's already annoyed by something you haven't done yet. Hera, queen of the gods, goddess of marriage, and the eternal partner of Zeus, much to her frustration. She handles Olympus's social contracts, divine alliances, and revenge strategies. Basically, she's HR. Their marriage is the stuff of mythic reality shows. Betrayals, reconciliations, epic arguments that shake the firmament. And still, she stays. Not because she's weak. No. Hera is power restrained by dignity. You get the feeling that if she ever truly lost her temper, Olympus might not survive the day. You notice that, despite being married, Zeus and Hera don't share a throne. It's symbolic. Very symbolic. Their dynamic shapes the very mood of Olympus. When Zeus is in a good mood, skies clear, crops flourish, and people sing. When Hera is in a bad mood, cows cry, heroes get hexed, and minor demigods mysteriously turn into trees. What's strange is that even with all their tension, they rule together. Maybe because no one else can handle them. Or maybe because Olympus needs both, the thunder and the structure, the chaos and the control. As you stand between their thrones, you realize the uncomfortable truth. Power isn't tidy here. There's no neat split between good and bad. Zeus cheats, Hera punishes. Zeus forgives, Hera remembers. The heavens are held together not by peace, but by the uneasy truce of a divine couple who, frankly, could use some counseling. And yet, it works. Sort of. You catch the faintest sound of a harp in the distance, maybe Apollo practicing again, and wonder how the rest of this pantheon keeps up with their glorious mess of a king and queen. Scholars still debate whether the myths of Zeus and Hera reflect social commentary, religious doctrine, or just ancient drama turned into legend. Maybe it's all three. Maybe it's a warning. Either way, the air changes as you move away from Zeus and Hera's charged throne zone. It thickens, becomes saltier. A low rumble echoes from beneath your feet. Not thunder this time, but the slow, relentless movement of tides. You look toward the far edge of the court, where the mist parts to reveal a throne crusted with coral, barnacles, and kelp. Seagulls screech somewhere in the unseen distance. And sitting on that damp, magnificent seat, Poseidon. He doesn't say much. Poseidon isn't the loud sibling. That role's already filled by a certain thunder enthusiast. But his silence is never mistaken for weakness. His beard is seafoam white. His trident rests across his knees like a weapon that has stories of its own. And his eyes shimmer with deep ocean blues and unpredictable storms. You get the sense that Poseidon doesn't particularly enjoy Olympus. He comes because he has to. His real kingdom, the sea, is too vast, too wild, too sovereign to be ruled from a mountaintop. But still, he shows up. Family obligation, you guess. A drop of water lands on your shoulder, then another. It starts to rain. Inside Olympus. Typical. He's powerful, of course. God of the seas, earthquakes, and horses. Yes, horses. Don't ask. Sailors pray to him. Cities build temples to keep him calm. His moods shift with the tide, and when he's angry, islands disappear. He once tried to overthrow Zeus, you know. That family meeting didn't end well. Then there's Hades. Or more accurately, not there's Hades. His throne is missing. You glance around, but the god of the underworld isn't in the court. He doesn't visit Olympus often. Can you blame him? He has a kingdom to run, complete with rivers of sorrow, three-headed dogs, and paperwork on every soul that's ever lived. Hades isn't technically one of the 12 Olympians. Not because he's weaker, far from it, but because death, decay, and silent judgment don't play well in a pantheon that prefers wine, music, and lightning bolts. His realm lies far below, beyond the river Styx, lit by ghostly fires, and run with chilling efficiency. Still, you feel his presence here, like a cold breath on your neck when no one's standing behind you. Some say Hades was cheated out of Olympus. Others argue he chose solitude. Scholars still debate whether his exclusion was religious, symbolic, or purely narrative. After all, every family has that one relative no one invites to dinner. The tension between the brothers simmers eternally. Zeus rules the sky, Poseidon the sea, Hades the underworld. It's a neat division of the cosmos, and an uncomfortable one. No clear winner, no clear harmony, just three rulers pretending the other two aren't ruining everything.
Poseidon lets out a long sigh, as if remembering a wave he forgot to crash. The rain stops. You wipe your shoulder and continue walking, careful not to slip on the newly sea-damp marble. As you walk further, the marble under your feet begins to change. Not in substance, but in tone. A subtle hum fills the air, like the beginning of a melody you almost recognize. You pass a throne, unlike the others. Sleek, elegant, polished with intellect rather than opulence. A gentle breeze, scented with olive and ink, brushes against your face. Athena. She's standing, not sitting. Arms crossed behind her back, gaze sharp and calm. She doesn't need a throne to command respect. Horn fully grown from Zeus's forehead. Don't ask how. It involves headaches and a very concerned Hephaestus with an axe. Athena is the goddess of wisdom, war strategy, and civilization. She's also the reason owls look so smug. You watch as she gestures, and a map of ancient Athens glows softly in the air before you. She doesn't speak, but you feel her thoughts. Clarity, foresight, logic layered over myth. If Zeus is thunder, Athena is lightning precision. And then, the vibe shifts again. Music, laughter, the faint sound of, is that a flute being played upside down? You've entered Dionysus's corner. His throne is wrapped in grapevines, half covered in a leopard skin cloak. And, is that glitter? No one really knows how he got into the 12. He replaced Hestia, goddess of the hearth, who politely gave up her seat. Maybe Olympus decided it needed more chaos. Maybe he just showed up one day, and no one had the energy to argue. Dionysus is the god of wine, ecstasy, and theater. Also, emotional breakdowns, hallucinations, and surprise transformations into dolphins. His presence is intoxicating, literally. You blink, and the court seems to shimmer. Was Athena always glowing? Is that throne breathing? He winks at you. You look away. If Athena is clarity, Dionysus is catharsis, logic and feeling, side by side on Olympus. It's a strange juxtaposition, a necessary one. Too much logic, and the gods would calcify. Too much emotion, and they dissolve. Together, they form the odd balance that keeps Olympus both visionary and volatile. Scholars still debate whether Dionysus was ever meant to be an Olympian. Some say he was a late addition, imported from foreign cults. Others argue he was always there, waiting for the myths to catch up. You wonder what Hestia thinks about all this. She still tends the hearth below, even without a throne. Quiet gods don't always get the spotlight, but they hold the world together. The music fades. Athena turns away. Dionysus downs a cup of wine that wasn't there a moment ago. You're not sure if the floor is moving, or if
You've almost made a full circle around the court now, but something feels off. There are thrones, yes. Gods, yes. Laughter, lightning, wisdom, wine. But not everyone is here. You scan the hall and your eyes fall on an empty space between Demeter and Apollo's thrones. A modest gap, just enough for one more seat. And for a moment, the golden mist clears, revealing not a throne, but a hearth. A small flickering flame. Hestia. Or rather, her absence. She once held a throne here. Goddess of the hearth, keeper of sacred fire, the quiet center of family and civilization. But one day, she stepped down. Voluntarily. Gave her seat to Dionysus. No war, no scandal. Just peace. Most gods clamor for power. Hestia let it go. Maybe she saw the chaos coming. Maybe she preferred warmth to worship. You look around and realize that despite her absence, her presence is everywhere. In the flicker of every torch, the stillness in the air, the unspoken bond that holds the Olympians in orbit around something deeper than drama. She's not the only one missing. There's no throne for Eros, god of love. No seat for Persephone, queen of the underworld. No place for Heracles, despite his posthumous promotion to godhood. Olympus, it seems, isn't fair. It never claimed to be. It's a family, yes, but one defined as much by those left out as by those who remain. And some who are included seem questionable. Take Ares, for example. God of war, yes, but also the god of unnecessary rage. His throne oozes testosterone. His presence always seems like a dare. He's the kind of sibling who shows up to Thanksgiving wearing armor, demanding respect and seconds. Or Hephaestus, the divine blacksmith. He doesn't mind that his forge is miles below. He minds that Aphrodite, his wife, flirts with Ares every other Tuesday. Then there's Apollo and Artemis, the sun and moon, twins of talent and tension. They always seem to move in and out of the room in opposite directions, like celestial bodies that can't quite agree on a shared orbit. Some gods have power, others have presence. A few, like Hermes, simply have momentum. He's everywhere, all the time, delivering messages, guiding souls, borrowing things that may or may not be returned. You take a deep breath, absorbing the complexity of it all. This isn't a pantheon. It's a soap opera with lightning bolts. Scholars still debate whether this lineup of gods ever existed in a single unified canon. The stories come from different regions, different eras, even different beliefs stitched together. But the chaos? That part's consistent. And in the end, Olympus isn't about neat answers. It's about divine.
The thrones grow quiet now, their glow softening to embers, as if Olympus itself is winding down. The voices of gods fade into a gentle hum, not gone, just resting, as eternal beings often do. You sit for a moment, no longer a visitor, but a witness to something ancient and unfinished. The stories swirl like mist around your mind, some strange, some beautiful, all tangled in truths too old to untangle. And though the mountain remains, the world below still burns with mortal questions. Who rules? Who remembers? Who was never invited? You close your eyes. The hearth still flickers. The gods are still watching. And your dreams? They're now filled with thunder, wine, olive trees, and the gentle beat of immortal footsteps. If this story helped you drift a little further from today, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us next time beneath the clouds of legend. Tell me where you're listening from, the hour, the city, or the myth you carry close. Sleep well, we'll be waiting in the next tale.